Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Educator's Guide to Make Music. Before we get started, I have just a couple of housekeeping notes for you. We encourage you to download the Whova app, where you can access all of our event content easily from your phone. Check out the links in the chat to find out more about how to download. We also invite you to check out the downloadable Publisher's Choice list linked in the event homepage. These PDFs are SmartMusic series and title recommendations from some of our publishers that are linked directly to SmartMusic. We would like to note that all sessions on the on-demand session track will be viewable at any time of the day today and tomorrow, so feel free to choose your own adventure. All live sessions today will be recorded and will be available on Whova within the next week. They will also be available exclusively to you until the end of July. We have provided a downloadable certificate of attendance linked in the description for each live session today. We have also included a link to this session's certificate in the chat. If you have questions that we are unable to answer during this session time, we encourage you to join a community board where your questions will be answered. Please be aware of the community guidelines, as well as any info you need to know about the virtual summit, which is posted for you on the event homepage. I would now like to introduce our presenter for today, Ted Scalzo. Ted is a music educator, having conducted wind ensembles, jazz and marching bands, instrumental lessons, and advanced music composition. Throughout his career in public schools, he has been an advocate of using technology to enhance and improve student and teacher instructional needs. He is now retired from Bayshore Schools and Hofstra University, and Ted is currently an education specialist and clinician for MakeMusic. He lives in San Antonio, Texas, and performs with several big bands in the area. Thank you so much, Ted. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Ivana, for that wonderful introduction. I appreciate that immensely, and welcome everybody to Make Music Connect. And my goal here today is to solidify the understanding of what is Make Music. So Make Music is the parent company of 4 music technologies. They're designed to enhance your ability to teach, practice, produce, and compose music. These products are SmartMusic, Finale, Garriton Sounds, and Music XML. And the main important element here to keep in mind is that connection of all of these products is the central theme of what makes our products unique and powerful in the music world. Our first product that I want to discuss today is SmartMusic. This is our practice application. It contains the world's largest digital library of professionally recorded accompaniments. It's important to note that SmartMusic has 3 basic areas of functionality for students and teachers: practice tools, feedback, and guided practice. I'll go into more detail about that in just a little bit. Our next application is Finale. Finale is our notation program, and it's been in existence for over 27 years. I'm a very proud owner of version 1.0 and began my notating career using Finale 1.0. So I've been a user for a long time and have found it to be a wonderful tool in my classroom. But it's also used by professional copyists, composers, choral conductors, anybody who needs to create music notation and then have musicians perform. The next family of product here are the Garriton Sounds. And the Garriton Sounds are present in both Finale and SmartMusic Compose. SmartMusic Compose is the notation application inside of SmartMusic. But these sound libraries are what make your scores in Finale and SmartMusic Compose playback with authentic results. They sound real. The additional Garriton sound libraries can be used in Finale, but they're also usable by any digital audio workstation, such as Logic or GarageBand or Digital Performer, etc. So it's a library of authentic sounds, and you've heard them, whether it be a movie or some symphony orchestra that's using some synthesized sounds in the background. These are fantastic libraries of sounds. And again, they are purchasable and usable in Finale, but you will find them in our two products, both Finale and SmartMusic. Now, the last application is probably the one that's, I'm going to say, the most not known about. It's Music XML. We all know it. We use it. It's used by both SmartMusic and Finale, but it was designed from the ground up for sharing sheet music files between applications and for archiving sheet music files for use in the future. You can count on Music XML files being readable and usable by a wide range of music notation applications. Music XML complements the native file formats used by Finale and other programs, which are designed for rapid interactive use. So let's take a look at SmartMusic in a little bit more detail and start with those three premises I talked about earlier. It's basically three sections. It's a practice tool, it provides feedback, and it provides guided practice. So those three basic areas of functionality are both for student and teacher. Practice tools include the built-in metronome, the loop feature, the ability to speed up and slow down the accompaniment without changing the pitch, a metronome with subdivision, and in addition to being able to start anywhere in the piece and focus on just a few measures. The amount of content also contributes to SmartMusic being the definitive practice tool. With the addition of the 14,000 new PDF titles, you're going to have many, many more pieces to work on with your students, including scores. Now, feedback, that starts with the immediate feedback a student receives when they first listen to an accompaniment in SmartMusic. The next time they get feedback is when they decide to record themselves. And now SmartMusic will assess that performance with a red and green note indication of green is right pitch, red is wrong pitch, and a yellow assessment if the rhythm is incorrect. The additional benefit of a comments box also adds to this functionality of feedback. And there's a comments box for both the student and the teacher. Guided practice. That's is enabled through the teacher's use of assignment rubrics and directed practice routines, using SmartMusic with unlimited ability to differentiate the instruction based on the student needs. So feedback comes in many forms, and I did want to show a SmartMusic home screen here to give you an indication of what exactly is going on here. So the first form of feedback, again, is the result of the student listening to the accompaniment. And that might even be something you send out as an assignment. Just listen to it. That's the assignment. And that first form of feedback is the beginning stage, and then when they record themselves and then they perform along with the accompaniment, and they're listening to how do they sound, and they're getting the feedback of right pitch and right rhythm. And as you look at this screen, you'll see there's many green notes here, but there are a couple of red ones that indicates there were some pitch issues here. If there were rhythmic issues, they would have been in yellow and would have been either before the note or after it, indicating it was early or late. And many educators are finding that the feedback, the comments box, is a valuable tool for both the student and the teacher. And now that final stage of feedback occurs over here on the left-hand side, where the SmartMusic assessment is there, and that's the assessment grade. You'll see it listed right here. And then this teacher wrote a rubric called recording grade. And there was some kind of dialogue in there that explained what recording grade meant, what the grade was going to be based on, and so on and so forth. And now the next level of feedback is student got the SmartMusic score, which is changeable, by the way, by the teacher. So if I listen to this and I see a couple of those red C's and I say, oh no, That was fine. I might change that score. So again, I'm giving that numerical feedback, and then I'm deciding based upon the rubric I designed for that student, what's my point value system here? And then the most important thing, in my opinion, is the grading comments. So I've asked the student to give me comment. I've now provided my own comments and feedback for the student, and I've completed a cycle here. So this whole concept of guided practice is built in this way. And there are many parameters when you make your assignments that you have choices over, and those are going to determine the kind of experience your students have with those practice sessions. And the easiest one to talk about is saying you can only submit this at a slow tempo. So now I'm deliberately focusing my student on an assignment, and they cannot do it at any other speed but that slow speed. All right. So lots of potential here for us in terms of that. Now, the amount of content that's in SmartMusic is huge, and it's very important for me to highlight here. These are all of the interactive titles. Interactive titles are defined by they have an accompaniment to them. They are assignable, and your students can practice on their own and just go in and listen and play and perform anything that's in the catalog. You can assign anything in this particular list of materials. And just look at the numbers. Method books alone, there's 187. And what I love about that is I don't have to stick to one method book. If I find in another method book that this approach to this particular song suits my students' needs better, I can then switch gears. I'm now in another method book. Okay. And you can pin a method book too. That's just, an FYI for you. Pinning it makes it so it shows up on your student's home screen. And many teachers find that to be a very powerful resource. And you can change that method book anytime you want. The exercises that are here, it looks like there's only a few things with 8 groups. There actually are a ton. Those 8 groups add up to thousands of lines of material that you can work on with your students. The large ensemble content, that includes choir, band, orchestra, string orchestra, and jazz ensemble, and marching band. So those all have professionally recorded accompaniments, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit more, that your students are practicing with. We have 17 collections of sight reading in there, but here's something that we all need to know. Anything in SmartMusic can be instantly turned into sight reading with the selection of a button in the assigner. So anything is up for grabs for sight reading, which in my opinion, that turns it into endless. Put on top of that, we actually have a tool inside of SmartMusic called the Sight Reading Builder, where you now can build a sight reading assignment for your students based upon the criteria you know they need, and it will generate a new one for them every time it's selected. Free selections are for people who are just kicking the tires. You signed up for a free account. We have 74 items for you to check out in there. 28 volumes of jazz improv, over 1,400 solos and more in development. And I want to talk about this number. People look at the small ensemble title and say, oh, you only have 123 chamber things. If you look at them, they're collections. And those collections add up to thousands of potential chamber ensemble stuff. And just an FYI, the entire Canadian Brass Library sitting in there. Now, included with that now, you have the ability to upload your own content into SmartMusic. If you're writing a piece for your students, if you're writing exercises, you can import material in via Compose, or create it in Finale and share it into SmartMusic. So basically, the amount of material here is unlimited. On top of that now, we've added the addition of a digital sheet music catalog. These are not assignable. They do not have accompaniments. They're just simply sheet music that's available to you. But the numbers are huge. 5,400 choral titles. There's 6,200 scores. And what you can do is open up a score projected on screen and show your students how is this piece constructed. And then if it just so happens that there's an interactive title in there as well, you could have that score up and also be playing the title. As you search through that digital catalog, you're going to find a resource full of method books, characteristic studies, solos, percussion ensemble, guitar duets. It's an immense catalog with a really vast array of material in there, and including piano. Okay, and I think I said, yeah, percussion ensemble. So you have a lot of material there. So I think what I would like to do right now is actually go live to SmartMusic. So this is a SmartMusic homepage. All right, this is what it looks like. There is a navigation bar across the top. It's just simple. This is get you to home, and the rest of the top of this page here is a tuner. If I click on it, it opens a new tab, and I can actually resize the tab, make it smaller, move it around on the screen, and have my tuner up while I'm working. And we're going to talk a little bit in a second here about resources, but this is a link to Smart Music Academy. Here is a link to written recipes, so to speak, of how to use Smart Music, and it's also your way to submit a ticket. But here's the main navigation icon that brings you to all the tools that are in Smart Music. And for all of my education friends out there, I just want to share with you a couple of powerful things. Finding music, that's pretty self-explanatory, but this is huge. Practice analysis. If you send an assignment to your student, SmartMusic will let you know how much time they're spending on that assignment. Okay, and that's determined by, did they click on play, did they click on record, and how much time they're spending working on it. So you will get to know, again, how much time your students are spending on your assignments, and you can base your next assignment upon that. Or you can even tie your assignment and say, hey, listen, I'm going to require that you have 45 minutes worth of work on this particular passage. I'm going to look in practice analysis, and that's how I'm going to be assigning, your participation grade or whatever you decide. The other thing that it does is it will show you what they're looking at besides your assignment. And honestly, as an educator, I find that to be even more rewarding and powerful. I know what they're interested in, and I can have a conversation with them about those things. I can also offer, if I want to, a reward for exploring, going beyond what I assigned you. Hey, if you do this exercise, but if I notice you've done, the next 4 or 5, there's going to be a bonus, whatever. And of course, we can build units. This is our grade book, class tools to build our classes. But these two features down here, I really want to take a second. This is Compose. I'm not going to open it and go into it, but that's your way to create material inside of SmartMusic. And by the way, your students have this as well. And you can import XML or MIDI files into SmartMusic and then assign them to your students as well. Sight Reading Builder. This is a whole nother topic, but Sight Reading Builder is an application, again, where you go in and you dial in what it is you want your students to work on, and then you send it out. And the first time they do it, they'll all get a sight reading assignment that's similar to the criteria you set. And if you send it out a second time, they all get a different sight reading material that's still based on that criteria. So you start to see where this is the time saver and a great way to design a curriculum to fit your students' needs. And then everything you create, save in Compose, Sight Reading Builder, import, goes into your folder here in Content Manager. As you can see, we also have a ton of enticing music that's going across the scroll bar here that would be exciting for your students to explore. But here's what I want to do. I just clicked on playlists. This is a new addition to SmartMusic, and this is really powerful. And there are several playlists in my catalog here, but I made one for us today called What is MakeMusic? And all I'm going to do is quickly share with you, this is my number one reason why I use SmartMusic with my students. So this is a Brian Balmage's piece. We just heard from Brian. I've been performing his music with my ensembles, for the last 15 years. This is one we did, and my students loved it. and I'm going to leave you all hanging right there. So what you heard was a professionally recorded wind ensemble concert band that now your students are sitting at home and practicing with. Game changer. They come to your class now and their paradigm for this piece is this. It's not who's sitting on their left and right. They know what it should be. Now there's a whole different dialogue that goes on. There's a whole different mindset. And what I actually found with my students is they actually started to come into a rehearsal almost with the composer's mindset, where an understanding of how this piece is put together, how does it build, where does it go? And again, using SmartMusic, we got beyond pitch and rhythm really fast. And now we're able to work on blend, balance, intonation, emotion, like Brian just discussed with us earlier. So a great resource. And then you heard me with just the tools on the My Tracks tab. I had control over volume on the accompaniment, volume on my part, and the metronome click. Those are just some of the tools, all right? So I'm actually going to go back, and now what I'd like to do is play another Brian Balmage's piece for you. This is one of the ones he wrote for orchestra. I have done this one with my wind ensemble, but here is the same thing now. Here's an orchestra recording that you're going to work on. And by the way, I'm not going to start at the beginning. I'm going to start right here. And I also want to just show you this. When I click on a note, every piece in the interactive program gives us fingerings, slide positions. And if a student needs, what's the first starting note sound like? They now hear that note. Sorry for the volume. And we didn't talk about it, but we can slow this down. So I can send the assignment out, have my students and say, I want you to work on this phrase at this tempo. And it's gonna. Okay, pitch didn't change. They can still hear the accompaniment. They're able to go. Let's go back and open one more. So here's my favorite choral title to demonstrate, and I have some specific reasons for that, and you'll see in just a second. So your choral students, they go home, they practice. This is what they're practicing with. Agnus Dei, qui tollis peccata mundi, miserere. You're teaching your students Latin. And what a beautiful way to do it. They now have the model they need to move forward. So again, a great resource, very rich. We have a jazz reading session at the end of today. I'm not going to play a jazz piece for you now, but I'm just going to invite you to come and join Mike Camiff and check out the jazz reading session to hear more in regards to SmartMusic. There's more we could go into, but I just wanted you to have a snapshot, an idea of what's available to you and your students in SmartMusic. And again, a point to those resources. If you need information, anything regarding SmartMusic, go to smartmusic.com, click on the resources tab, and there's a list of many resources available to you for both educators, parents, students, and so on. And I pointed out to you inside of SmartMusic, if you click on the Scholar Cap, that will bring you to SmartMusic Academy, which is our video tutorials on using SmartMusic. And inside of the SmartMusic application, if you clicked on the question mark, you would be brought to this help center. And we have everything kind of in a written style now, recipe, so that you can go in and learn about SmartMusic. I also want to point out, if you have technical issues or you want to put a request in for literature, click on submit a request, and that will go to someone in SmartMusic. So now let's take a look at Finale. Finale is our notation application, and the latest version is 27.2. And five basic things have been added to this newest version. the advanced music sharing function, which to me as an educator is a huge asset. And as a conductor of a community ensemble, this would be a huge asset, or a professional ensemble. So it's got a lot of functionality to it. And it's one of those things that just makes the way we interact with our fellow musicians easier. Standard music font layout. A lot of people ask me about this. The acronym is SMOOFL, and it's a growing comprehensive standard that basically organizes musical characters into a common layout. So music fonts are displayed correctly in every notation application that is supporting SMOOFL fonts. You'll spend less time searching for and creating symbols, sharing between notation applications that use SMOOFL fonts. So it's kind of like what MIDI did for our music instrument, our electronic music instruments, and notation and everything, where we standardize, this number is what we associate with a C, and this number is how you pan to the right, those kinds of things. The other big thing is the revised instrument list. It's huge. We revise the entire list. It ensures that the notation looks great the first time, no matter what instrument you choose, by the way. And you're going to hear the correct sounds. A lot of our percussion materials here have been updated. So you have, basically what you need. It behaves the way you need it, and it shows up right. And again, this Music XML, it's under the hood of SmartMusic and Finale, and it's our way for archiving, sharing notation sheet music. There's a lot more information in the newest version of 4.0. So when you share it, things behave, look, and sound more like what you're looking for. And there's a lot of little quality of life things, but the big one I want to share with all of you is, if you're a Windows user, Finale now looks fantastic on a large screen display. All right. So I'm going to focus a lot on sharing because this is the one I'm really excited about. So the minute you open up your piece and you decide you want to share it, you're going to go to File, down to Share. And the first dialog box you'll get is this one on the left. That's going to ask you to link your account to your to your Finale program. And it's a SmartMusic account. If you don't have one, you can create one. And we've created an icon here, or a button rather, so you can click on it and create your account. And by the way, it's free. If you have a paid subscription, you don't need to worry about it. You go ahead and just sign in. The free account's not going to give you access to all those materials we just went through in SmartMusic earlier, but it will give you access to sharing your content into SmartMusic. So if you could think of it this way, it's a little like a digital file cabinet. You can put all of your pieces up, and you'll decide who are you going to share those with. And that's the next screen. Do you just want to send a link privately to someone? If you click on it, it'll come up and ask you to enter the email. They will get a link to this. They'll open it up. It'll look like SmartMusic, and we'll show that in just a second. And they'll have a bunch of practice tools in addition to being able to hear the piece you've created. Do you want to create a public link? That's a timeshare, a time-saving sharing tool. So if you wanted to, if you had, let's say, your community ensemble has a mass mailing list and you want to send it to all of those players, you just create the public link, throw it in there, and now they all have access to the parts that they need going on. Or the last one is just upload it. So you're just going to put it into your SmartMusic account. It will be showing up in the Content Manager. Once you've decided those things, it will go through a let's make sure you have the right parts in SmartMusic dialog. And I put this one on the screen because sometimes it doesn't always get the instrumentation right. If you look at the French horn, it's going to assign a generic instrument. To fix that, I would select French horn, then select down here, search for my horn in F, and put it in the slot, and then I would click upload. Once I've uploaded my material, I have choices again. I can look at it in SmartMusic, see how it's going to look and behave, or just click done and go back to composing. So that's a quick snapshot on how all that works. Here's a snapshot on a piece that was shared. It's a warm-up I wrote for a woodwind quintet. And I'm showing the bassoon part right now. All right. And you see it looks just like SmartMusic. I've got those tabs across the top here. I left this on display to show you, if you want, you can transpose this. So this is great for this warm-up. I don't necessarily want them to do it in the same key every time we do the warm-up, or if it's a scale study or anything you want to do that you want to cycle through keys. So it's beautiful, it's crisp. I have all the playback features that you would normally come to expect in SmartMusic. And when you first open the piece, again, it comes up and you have access. This is off of the tracks page. There's that metronome I showed you earlier. Here's playback, record. Here's an example of clicking on the tuner. And now I've brought the tuner up, accessed it. I'll probably shrink it, down so I can put it somewhere else on the screen and then have my music up and be working with it. And again, here's the section where you're going to go and you're going to actually transpose this particular one. So I think we're going to choose B flat, and you'll notice that violin 2 part, we went to G first, E minor, and now we're on G minor. There we go. Okay, so you see how it works. So before we get to the setup wizard, depending on how much time we've got left, okay, I think we have some time, so I'm going to do this. I actually want to go to finale and show you what I'm talking about. So I want to get this piece out to a string quartet, all right, in my ensemble, and I'm going to go to File, Share, and I've purposely logged out, and the first thing it always wants you to do is save, and it wants you to log in. So I'm going to log in. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Okay, hopefully I remembered my login. And there I am. Okay, so now I'm in and it's asking me, well, what do you want to do? For now, I'm just going to say upload only. Okay, and we're going to go through the next process, which should be, are your parts and sounds correct? And look at that, it nailed it right away. I click upload, and now we're going to just instantly, we're going to SmartMusic, and you're all going to see it uploaded into SmartMusic. Okay, and in this particular account, I believe I'm logged in as a cello player, so it opens my cello part right away. And look at it, there it is. I can play it, I can record myself, all right? And again, a reminder, you don't have to have a paid subscription for this to work. You can have a free account, all right? Great for students, for community orchestra members, for your professional, Baroque ensemble. Whatever it is that you're creating your music for, this sharing function is huge. Now, I'm just going to go back quickly to SmartMusic. I'm sorry. I'm going to click done here. So let's pretend I decided that the cello part needs to go up an octave or down an octave. So I'm going to change that. Okay. Whoops, I went the wrong way. Let's go this way. Okay. So I've made that change. All right. I'm going to then go back to share, and it's going to automatically tell me we haven't saved it. So let me go to share. Okay. Look what it's asking for. Update. So you don't have to change all those other parts. I click update, and it's going to be updated, and now it's going to be in SmartMusic that way. And I'm going to go take a look at it in a second here. We're going to click done. All right. And we're going to go back to SmartMusic and find the file. All right. And we're going to find that, by the way, I wanted you to see this in Content Manager. All right. And we should be able to find it. There it is. Okay. So I'm going to click at it so we can see it and take a look at it. And here it is. This is what it looks like. And hopefully we're opening the cello part. Okay, actually the whole score. But look, my cello parts changed because I'm in Compose now. And now I could, go into SmartMusic and so on. But the point of this is no more passing out parts than passing parts back in. The minute you do the update, your performer has the updated part. This is a huge time saver. This is a big deal. All right. Okay. So when you're, let's talk about now, creating scores, because that's what we're all going to want to do inside of Finale. Two basic ways to do it. You have Wizard, which is a way for you to create a custom score based upon the instrumentation you want to use. You will select a document style. It's going to be associated with some custom markings, layout. It will provide all the automatic staff names, playback sounds, transpositions, so on and so forth. And then the other way is to do template, where we've already done the work for you, and all you have to do is open it up and start entering notes in. So I do want to say, if you open a template and you look at it and you go, there's 3 clarinet parts, but I'm only writing for 2. Don't throw away the template. Delete the clarinet 3 part and then save it as a new template for yourself. And now give it a name, maybe your name, concert band template, 2 clarinets, whatever. And now you've got your own template that works. So there's a couple of ways for you to get to building your scores and getting your content out to your people. One of the biggest tips and tricks I like to share with everyone is putting this score into concert pitch. Easily done by going up to the document tab on Finale and selecting in the menu display in concert pitch. Enter in your notes, get your score done, then flip it back to display and transpose, and you're ready to go. And it's a huge time saver as well. You don't have to be thinking about your transpositions all the time. All right. Another tool, another great give is the templates that have been redone. All right. And these are all the templates that are in there now. You can see the numbers. Take a look at the different ensembles that are there. Quite a few done, and they're all redone, by the way. And just recently, the jazz template was redone by a jazz composer arranger, and they're all working really well. And you're going to find that you're going to probably find what you need. And there's material in here too, like for educators that are dealing with a general music class. All kinds of materials there, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Worksheets, okay, and repertoire. These are materials that we've created for you that you can utilize, all right? As you look on the left here, you go to File menu, and you'll find worksheets and repertoire. I'll show that in just a second. There's over 350 theory worksheets with the topics that are over there on the right. There are 30 ear training worksheets, 400 flashcards. Who doesn't need more flashcards, right? 56 jazz improv worksheets that actually play. So there's a great amount of material in here for you in Finale. So the first thing I want to do is open very quickly the launch window, okay? As you look at the launch window, there's the setup wizard. There's the templates I just talked about. If you click on setup wizard, it's going to bring you to another dialog box. By the way, these first 2 Smoofle fonts are the ones that are at the top of the screen. And just an FYI, if you're curious, some people ask me, it used to be just Maestro. Maestro had 256 characters. The Finale Maestro now has 2,756 characters. So it has way more characters with more playback ability and more indications of the different kinds of techniques your instruments are going to do for all kinds of music, by the way, medieval, handbell choirs, so on and so forth. You can choose over here a couple of, kind of template-y, pre-done things. If you're looking to stay in what we call the legacy fonts, and here's a reason why you might want to. You're sharing with somebody who uses an older version of a notation program. They're not Smoofle compliant. Well, then you probably don't want to use Smoofle fonts because you're not going to be able to communicate back and forth. The legacy defaults are all here. You can pick one, you can use it. Once you've chosen one, That's an engraved style, that's handwritten. Same thing up here, that's the engraved style, that's handwritten. You click next. Now you begin to pull your piece together. So we're just going to do some random things. Okay. All right. So how many people have written for a group like this? But now this is your group. And if it's something you write for a lot, you can save it as a new ensemble and you're ready to go. The next window is just choosing keys and time signatures and so on. So I'm going to X out of that or cancel it. I want to go quickly to the template so you see what's going on there. Again, from the launch window. And it brings you to a folder, and the folder has all of the templates already done for you there. So if you decide you're doing something for ukulele with tab, there you go. All you got to do is put in your title and your score, pick your key, and you've got it ready to go. Again, if you need something a little bit different, maybe you got a vocal line to go along with this and you add it to the score, all you got to do is save it and you're ready to go. So those templates are a big deal as well. Sorry, I meant to go back here. Here's the open worksheets and repertoire. And again, look at all the stuff that's in here. I'm not going to go through this. This would take us a long time. But there's a ton of material here. I have used these with subs. You have a non-music sub coming in. I put out a sheet, okay? And, you know, they hand that out to the students and there's something they can do live, all right? So great resources pre-done for you. They're ready to go. So you have lots of great content to work with. Those are our two heavy hitter products. Again, just a reminder that everything is connected. You saw on the launch window the way to get to some of this material already. You can also get to it from the help menu. If you click on help in Finale, there's all of the resources available there. I'm going to highly recommend that all of you check out our official YouTube channel that has our training tutorials on it for Finale. And if you're a Facebook user, check out your social media. There's two groups in Facebook now that I find very resourceful. Learn something from those people every day. Finale 101 for us novices, and Finale power users for those of you that are using Finale in very advanced ways. Some great news, great news. We are having a summer sale on Finale. As you can see, $99 for an upgrade, or if you're an educator, a student, $299 if this is your first time buying it and you're not a student or a theological musician or an educator. But this is a really wonderful time to get a powerful music notation piece of software. So with that, I'm going to ask Giovanna, do we have any questions?
Hi, Ted. Thank you for your presentation. It was wonderful. We have answered all the questions that came in through the Whova platform. So at this time, I'm just going to thank you for such a great introduction to all things MakeMusic. Now for the audience, before we wrap up, I have just a couple of reminders. Be sure to download the certificate of attendance linked in the chat here and in each live session description. So I'm going to send that in the chat again. We have also created a short survey for each session. Please click the rate session button to take just 2 minutes to let us know how we did. We have a few minutes now before our next session begins. So this is a great time to check out the community room. We are giving away some great prizes at Connect this year, and you can see all the details by clicking on Win a Prize on the left side of your screen. Thank you for coming. We'll see you in the next session. And don't forget to check out the one that Ted has on screen there, Make Music in the Classroom. That has amazing, useful tips. And that is at 3:15 Central Standard Time here in the United States. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.